Hey, good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday morning, and I am back with another video. This is dedicated to my friend Pat, who has a great channel called Close to the Edge, my favorite channel in the vinyl community. Pat, you do a great job, and your buddy Kevin is awesome. I love you guys. So, why I'm dedicating this to Pat? Because it's right up his alley. I'm ranking my top 17 prog rock albums. Yes, 17. Number 17. First of all, let me start. I have a very narrow description of prog rock, not like everybody else or what you see. I don't consider Pink Floyd a prog rock band. They're not. They're art rock, some psychedelic, some straight rock. They are not a progressive rock band. They have no elements of classical music or really jazz tones or playing in a lot of different keys. I'm sure there are songs that you're going to say, "Oh, what about this song?" But generally speaking, I'm sorry, but that's my rule, my channel. Another one, Jethro Tull, not a progressive rock band. They have one progressive rock album, possibly two. That would be Thick as a Brick, maybe Passion Play, which I can't stand anyway, wouldn't make my list. Their worst album, in my opinion. So that doesn't work. Because if you think Jethro Tull's a prog rock band, besides Thick as a Brick, then the Guess Who must be a prog rock band because Burton Cummings played a flute. Is that the whole thing? So there's two. All right. So you won't see those guys on the list. So if you were thinking Dark Side of the Moon and Wish You Were Here and all that, it ain't happening. Okay. Number 17. I love this dude. He's got an autobiography out, which I've ordered, and it's showing up today. I wasn't even aware of it until I got that reimagining of the Court of the Crimson King, and started looking into that on the internet, and found Jocko doing all these interviews promoting his book. Guy's had a great life, a lot of cool stories. I highly recommend that book. Jocko Jaksic. Yes, Robert, it's pronounced Jaksic. Jaksic. That's it. My buddy Robert has a hard time pronouncing this gentleman's name. Man, he's all over progressive rock. He has played in so many bands, done production, done remixing. Just you see his name everywhere, and fantastic artist. Joined King Crimson around 2013, I think. And great vocalist. I think he did a great job. I mean, you think he had to learn the whole King Crimson catalog, and you think he had to cover Greg Lake's vocals, John Wetton's vocals, Adrian Belew's vocals. I mean, you have to be a pretty talented dude to be able to pull that off. And this is Jacko's most recent solo album called Secrets and Lies. I really like this album. It goes from some heavy prog stuff to some real kind of ballady type stuff, but he's got such a great voice. He's an amazing guitar player. And Jacko Jaksic's number 17. Number 16, big fan of the Canterbury scene, Caravan. Love that band. And there's been so many offshoots that show up there, and names like Dave Stewart and Jimmy Hastings, and man, there's just a ton of names. And they put a band together called National Health. This is a great record, an excellent prog rock album. National Health, number 16 on my list. Number 15, the great Steve Hackett, who I just absolutely love. I am picking Spectral Mornings as number 15 on my list. Excellent album. Now, I mentioned that this was my favorite Steve Hackett album. My buddy Steve at A's for Alice, B's for Bob said that Voyage was his favorite. And so I did a comparison. I listened to you, Steve. I played both albums, and I agree. I think I like Voyage better. But this is still a great album. The song Spectral Mornings is fantastic. Next, Rush. Rush, I'm going to put in as a prog rock band because they have a couple albums that are very progressive, and the lyrics are always kind of out there, and they just work. They play in different time signatures. They work as a prog rock band. And I picked two Rush albums to follow the next two releases. I picked Farewell to Kings, which is an awesome album. It ends out with a song, well, those Xanadu's, like, I don't know how many minutes that is. And then the last song, Cygnus times 1 or X1, it kind of leaves the story hanging. And then they go in the studio and they do Hemispheres, which has Cygnus Part 2. They continue the story. And yeah, this is the more proggy of the two, I think. But so I ranked it one step higher than the other one. Wow, how many is that? 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. Number 12 on my list. Oh, I hope it's 12. We'll see when you get up to the top. Caravan. If I could do it all over again, I would do it all over you. So my introduction to Caravan was In the Land of Gray and Pink, which might show up later. Brought it home, listened to it because it was recommended to me by someone, and I liked it, but it didn't it wasn't mind-blowing or anything for me. It wasn't a game changer. Then George Allen, who used to have a channel in the vinyl community. And George, if you're out there, I hope you're doing okay, man. George sent me this VCLT. If I could do it again, I'd do it all over you. And once I heard that, I went, oh, I get it now. Went back to Land and Pink and Gray and Pink and went, oh, that's freaking incredible. And huge fan of this band. This is a reissue on 4 Minute of Beards. I think I need probably a better copy of this. Yeah, it's just outstanding record. Love Caravan. Big part of the Canterbury scene again. Next on the list, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Self-titled Emerson, Lake and Palmer. You know how they got that name? Because the guys' names are Emerson, Lake and Palmer. This has Lucky Man on it. Can't beat that. The Barbarian, Knife Edge, Take a Pebble. That's a great record. Great debut album. I would also take Brain Salad Surgery. The reason I picked this one, because I didn't have Brain Salad Surgery on vinyl. I just thought I wanted to show some vinyl. Okay, next on my list, Jethro Tull, Thick as a Brick. This is their prog album. This is it. Don't be telling me Aqualung, which is my top 4 albums. If I list the greatest albums of all time, it would be Sgt. Pepper, Blonde on Blonde, then In the Court of the Crimson King and Aqualung. They're like right beside each other. But if I list my favorite albums of all time, it would be Aqualung and In the Court of the Crimson King. That's kind of weird, eh? But that's the way it would work. Thick as a Brick. I mean, it was kind of a parody of prog albums and became one of the great prog albums of all time. It's awesome. And everybody knows these book style Tull releases are amazing. Yes comes into the picture. Oh yeah, the bloated one, the pretentious one. Tales from Topographic Oceans. Fantastic album. Fantastic. That Revealing Science of God is one of the masterpieces of music ever. Really love this album. Tales of Topographic Oceans. Next. Genesis. Lamb Lies Down on Broadway makes my list. I finally got this album and I love it. I just picked up this vinyl edition the other day and I played it like twice now, and it's a long album and it's getting better and better. This will move up. I guarantee it. The other Hackett album, Steve Hackett, Voyage of the Acolyte. Oh my God, this is a good album. Just listened to it yesterday. Ace of Wands is such a great song. Shadow of the Hierophant closes the album. Fantastic. If you've never heard this album, you got to listen. It's fantastic. Steve Hackett. I got 8 more. Number 8, more Yes. The Yes album. This is really the first album where I finally got Yes. Decided after many, many years of just not being able to get into this band at all to give this album another try, and for some reason it just got me, and that amazing stuff. Just a great, great record. First album with Steve Howe. Number 7, more Genesis. Foxtrot, my favorite Genesis album now. I could have included Selling England by the Pound in this list, but I picked Lamb and Foxtrot. Foxtrot, Supper's Ready. Frick, man. What a song. One of my viewers mentioned that he thinks that should have been like 4 or 5 shorter songs. And I kind of get it. There's a lot of different twists and turns and melodies that they all could have been individual tracks, but they make it work as one long song. Watcher of the Skies is on this. Timetable's a beautiful song. This is a great record. Foxtrot. Number 6, more King Crimson. Well, it was first King Crimson I showed. Islands. I love this album. My second favorite King Crimson album. Mel Collins is all over this album. He's just one of the great wind players of all time. Saxophones, whatever. Just fantastic. The song Islands is absolutely beautiful. The Letters is great. Sailor's Tale. I mean, this is a dynamite record. And when I got a chance to talk to Jacko Jaksic at the King Crimson celebration thing I went to, I asked him what his favorite King Crimson song to sing was, and he told me it is Islands. So, next, Procol Harum. Another band that kind of on the edge of prog, but this album is definitely proggy. Shine On Brightly. Now, it's got some rock songs on it, but side 2 is In Held 'Twas an I, one of the greatest prog rock songs of all time. If I was ranking my favorite prog rock songs, it'll get serious consideration from number 1, number 2, number 3. It's up there. Fantastic album. Shine On Brightly, Procol Harum. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 to go. Number 4. Caravan, In the Land of Grey and Pink. What a cover, too, eh? Isn't that fantastic? Man, I think I got to do another video showcasing my Caravan box set. It's just so incredible. I love this album. Like I said, this was my introduction. I'd never heard of Caravan in the 70s. I never heard of them. I didn't know anything of this band even existed until about 5 years ago. It's crazy. And now I have all their albums, huge box sets and everything. Just incredible. What a great record. Oh, we're down to the top 3. Stephen Wilson's masterpiece, Hand Cannot Erase. Concept album about a woman who dies in her apartment, lonely, no one knows her, kind of a thing. She's kind of isolated herself from the world. Very sad, poignant story. Told so beautifully by Steve Wilson on this album, musically and lyrically. It is just one of the greatest albums of all time. Hand Cannot Erase, Stephen Wilson. Number 2, Close to the Edge. Masterpiece album. Would not change a note of this album. It is absolutely brilliant. The perfect album. Pat and Kevin were doing their perfect albums. How Pat didn't choose this, I will never know. Pat, what's wrong with you? Close to the Edge. And the name of his channel, too. Wow. And number 1, of course. Everyone knew this was coming. In the Court of the Crimson King. The album that started it all. The father of prog rock, as far as I'm concerned. And a brilliant album. Robert Fripp is just an incredible genius. Pete Sinfield's lyrics on this. I mean, this album is just timeless. I just, like I've said before, I could listen to this a million times over. It's just such an incredible piece of music. Work of genius. King Crimson, In the Court of the Crimson King. That's it. That's my top 17 prog rock albums. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what yours are. And you can start giving me crap now about not including Pink Floyd and Tull and all those bands, but they're just not. Sorry. You can't convince me. Don't even try. I said, don't try. You heard me? Don't even give it a try. I dare you. Okay.